Hello, this screencast is going to walk you through the history lesson plan for 413 if you're in periods 2 and 4, and 414 if you're in periods 1, 3, and 7. Due today is 20 to 30 heart of the story notes from 3 sources. This is 20 to 30 notes total across 3 sources. Here are the 3 things you're going to get out of this lesson today under learning. And SWBAT is students will be able to, number 1, conference with their teacher on Google Meet to plan the historical context of their topics. This is the first thing you have to do, and it involves meeting your teacher online through Google Meet to discuss what your historical context topics will be and how to search for them online to find good sources. After you've had that meeting, then you're ready to do number 2, which is to perform that keyword search on historical context of your topic. You need to create that list. You did this before for Heart of the Story. Now you're going to do it for historical context or background and build-up. Finally, you're going to apply that keyword search list to locate, evaluate, and record 3 new sources for the historical context of your topic. And then you're going to have those 3 new sources on your Google Doc. I'm going to show you how to do all 3 of these. You're watching the screencast right now, so let's jump to Activity 2. Activity 2, select a time to conference with your teacher, Mr. Mendez. Periods 2 and 4, you're going to click here, and you're only going to select one time slot. Periods 1, 3, and 7, you're going to click here, selecting one time slot. Just know that in the future, right here, there will be a link to join the Google Meet so that on the day and the time of your meeting, you can jump onto that Google Meet and conference with your teacher. You want to go on at your time so that you're not interrupting anybody else's meeting. Next, there is no Google Meet on the 30 for Monday or Tuesday. You are only meeting one-on-one with your teacher. Now, let's model how you should do this. If my name is Biff and I'm in period 2, I'm going to select here. It's going to open up a page that maybe you're familiar with, and Biff is going to notice that from 8 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m., there are slots for him to choose from. Lots of slots. He's going to think about his schedule that day, and he's going to think, this 10:40 to 10:50 works. I don't have any other class time. I'm not meeting with any other teachers. I'm going to select this single slot to meet with my teacher. And then Biff would click Save. And that lets his teacher know that he has that time reserved. That's the only time that Biff's going to do it. So, now that you have actually signed up for a conference, you're ready to move to Activity 3. And Activity 3 is planning the scope and sequence of your topic with a project planner. So you're going to click the period to the right to arrive at the project planner on Google Classroom. Biff is in period 2, so eventually there'll be a link here. He's going to click period 2, and that will bring Biff to Google Classroom. And it's going to bring him to this specific link, the Project Planner Research Sections Worksheet. The worksheet's right here, so while having the conference with his teacher, Biff will be working on this document. Let's take a look at the document. So it is split up into different sections: historical context, heart of the story, impact. We are focusing on historical context. Then over here, topic. So you write your topic here. 2 sections, background and build-up, and then search terms. This is an example that your teacher's done for you. He's been working with Voting Rights Act of 1965 is the topic. The two sections for background, Jim Crow laws. It's background because it happened long before the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Build up happened closer to the Voting Rights Act. Therefore, it's build up and it's nonviolent protest. Then, with your teacher, you're going to discuss some terms that might help you search these. Emmett Till will help search Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow laws. Segregation. Plessy Ferguson. These first four right here are really going to help with Jim Crow laws. Sit-ins, Montgomery bus boycott, Selma and Montgomery march, nonviolent protest. So when it's all said and done, you're going to have this side of your document completed. And you're going to have some good search terms that will take you to the next phase. So this is what's happening during your meeting or conference with your teacher. We have just done the scope and sequence. We're now ready to move on to number 4. So activity 4 is creating that keyword search list. You've done this before for Heart of the Story. Now you're going to do it for historical context or background and buildup. Using BIF again, period 2. It's going to bring you to a document you are very familiar with, or at least the post that has that document. Here's the document, and you would click on this document. It's going to bring something that looks like this. And because you're creating your next keyword search, you're now ready to move into historical context. And while you're doing that, keep in mind the things that you and your teacher discussed in the search terms of the project planner. So for my topic, Jim Crow is my background, happened a long time ago, and closer to my topic are nonviolent protests. So I want to put those two in first. And first, because there's 10, I'm going to do 5 that have to do with Jim Crow laws. And those 5 searches that I'm going to do are on Jim Crow laws themselves, segregation in the South, Plessy versus Ferguson, black codes, Emmett Till. So I have a lot of possible things to research for Jim Crow. For nonviolent protest, I selected nonviolent protest, and remember using a time of the 1960s. Sit-ins, Montgomery is a location, bus boycott, Selma to Montgomery march, nonviolent protest, and I added a name to make it more specific, Martin Luther King. So these search terms I'm now going to use on my search. That brings me to the next activity. So I got my search terms done. Now I'm on activity 5, and I'm doing my source check 2. You did source check 1 for Heart of the Story. Source check 2 is on historical context. So you're using that same Google Doc we just were on, and now you're going to list 3 new sources, and I've put a new search engine on here called Sweet Search. So let's use that. So Sweet Search functions a lot like Google, but it gets rid of a lot of the fluff and gives you stuff that's useful. First thing I want to look up is Jim Crow laws, because that was one of my terms. And I'm going to do a cite:/gov. And right off the bat, I see an NPS site, which are generally very good. Got another one down here that looks good. Jim Crow and Reconstruction, African American Heritage. Click that one. Now I know that government sites are very good because typically they're written by a team of writers that are experts, and they're usually updated regularly. This looks like it even has more links or other things to look at. Fairly large page, different subjects I can go to, last updated in 2018, so pretty recent. So this is a good solid source. I'm going to copy that link. And now I'm ready to start populating the next 3. So 5, 6, and 7, but I just got one for 5. And boom, nps.gov, there's the URL, and this is background because it's on Jim Crow. Remember? Jim Crow is my background, and I just did Jim Crow laws. Now I'm going to pick another one of these to search. Maybe I'll do sit-ins, so something with background. Go back to Suite Search. Sit-ins, and now I'm going to do site:org. So it's going to give me organizational sites that aren't collecting money, and this is a really good one. This is an online textbook called ushistory.org. If I go back to here, I can find the specific author that wrote on this topic. And I also know that it is updated regularly, 2019, and written by experts. So this is a great source. Copy it. Back to my document. And I'm going to put it in for source 6. Awesome. Got that. And then I wrote build up over here, a little different, because this is on sit-ins, nonviolent protest. Now I'm looking back at my keyword search. I'm just going to try nonviolent protest to the 1960s. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to Suite Search, but oh, it just dawned on me. Maybe I should try ABC Clio. So going back to my Google Classroom, there is a link to ABC Clio. If I can't find it, Breck is the username, password is Mustang, so you don't forget to use this database, which is really good. And non-violent, and there it is, nonviolent protest. And the dream of equality. And this looks like it has an overview, and I wanted to do in the 1960s, and this looks like all the dates that are occurring are the 1960s. So let's see, I'm going to put this in specifically with 1960s, see if I get the same source. Slightly different. I got civil disobedience. Oh, and this looks like a really good article too, talking about the methods of nonviolent protest. So I can copy the link up here because I like this. Go here, and I got my third source from ABC Clio. Right there. So now I've gotten all the activities done for my lesson plan. I got my keyword search done for background and build up, 5 apiece. And I got my 3 new sources. And I was able to do all that because I met with my teacher to discuss my project plan. So project plan first, then terms, then sources. So that's the homework. Make sure you sign up for your conference. Those conferences for 2 and 4 are on the 13th. Those conferences are on the 14th for 1 through 7. And you have your keyword search list for historical context. Let's do the 15th for 2-4, 16th for 1 through 7, and on that same due date, you also have source check 2. For 2-4, 4-15, 1 through 7 is the 16th. If you have questions, sign up for office hours. So that is the lesson plan for 413 and 414. Thank you.